keep on going on with the other topics. And before we do, of course, coming on in, and hopefully he's a little sober to talk, bringing in Angry Mark. Welcome, Angry Mark.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, Mark?
Well, we promoted you, Angry Mark. Wasn't sure how drunk you were tonight, so we did promote your Twitter, Angry Mark Beer. So we did congratulate you on using technology.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm starting to get the hang of this whole fucking Twitter shit. So awesome.
Yes. So before we go ahead and get started, Topher will bring you back. Please stay alert. This past weekend was EWA Summer Sizzler. Of course, myself was in attendance. Absent your queen, Saw Team, Angry Mark. I believe you showed up at some point, stumbling and drunk as always. Anderson Gameboy, I know you was away handling other business for the show.
Mm-hmm.
Good show, EWA. We do have to unfortunately say that Supremacy still regained all of their championships. DJ Hyde went against TJ Sykes in the main event. Very good match. And then at hashtag St. Anthony interfered. Of course, TJ Sykes he lost the match via DQ. St. Anthony revealed himself as the newest member of Supremacy, and they all tried to attack DJ Hyde, which leads up to the next EWA event, which is World War Z. It will be CZW against EWA. DJ Hyde will bring 4 people from CZW to go against Supremacy in a double cage, double ladder match. The Dark Horses did retain their tag team championships, so I will eat crow. As I said, I was wrong. They did successfully defend their titles. Thank you for the EWA security for helping out African Queen so she didn't get attacked by Supremacy. But I will thank the EWA, the business partners, the EWA board members and all for letting us come. We did enjoy ourselves. EWA will be back on the show next month to promote their next event. So we do want to give them a shout out for being a very good company and putting on a good show and product. Then we here Under the Mat Radio also want to give a congratulations to a good buddy of ours in the business. We've known this guy before everybody else now was on his bandwagon. Jimmy Dream, now known as James Ellsworth on WWE. Want to give him a good shout out. We are proud of you. We're glad for your success in WWE. Hopefully, we wish you nothing but good things in upcoming. Now, NC Gameboy, a lot of people have been hitting me up the past week about getting James Ellsworth on Under the Mat Radio, but little did they know he's been on our show. How many times? We get 5, 6, 7 times already?
Yeah, we had him on like 5, 6 times.
Exactly. So, but on all serious note, we are proud of you, Jimmy, or James Ellsworth, for your success. Definitely blew up social media. I've got been sent so many memes of him, shirts and sayings from him being on Raw and on SmackDown. So we are proud of you, James. You know.
Hey, I agree. Anybody with 2 12-packs has a chance.
Yes.
What's that awesome new tagline? That Stone Cold new tagline?
No. That's mine, bro. Any man who has 2 12-packs stands a fighting chance.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I feel you on that one.
You know.
Well.
Or in James Ellsworth's case, anybody that does not have a chin cannot get super kicked.
Wow.
What's it going to be? Sweet mouth music? Sweet ear music? I'm just saying. I mean, Jesus Christ. Hey, and I'm not even saying this. He's the one who did his own meme.
Yeah, he did do his own memes and
He did his own memes. Okay, I guess you want to get yourself over, but let other people do your memes for you, and then you retweet them.
Well,
Just saying.
I would say me and MC Gameboy got flooded with a whole hell of memes.
Yeah, sure.
People. I don't know which ones he did, but I know it's a whole bunch of wrestling pages and discussion boards that took that same picture of him in the corner and basically been picking with him. But we are proud of him as well. And we will bring him on the show momentarily, but he knows that we've always supported him from day one, even before his WWE exposure.
Dude, I think it's awesome how he... I think it's awesome. Because, honestly, it's different. It gives the fans something else. And that's what the product needs, whether it's a James Ellsworth or whoever it is. It's interesting. It gets people talking, and when you get people talking about the product, that's a good thing. Because I'm sure as hell not going to talk about Bray Wyatt and Dolph Ziggler tonight. That fucking blew like a $2 whore. Okay?
Well, you just mentioned it, Mark. You just you already mentioned it. We wasn't, but you mentioned it already.
I'm sorry.
That never happened.
I'm sorry. I spent more money on beer today than some people do on their groceries. My apologies.
And I guess you'll be spending a lot more of that money for your liver and kidneys.
Hey, I think I'm going to start a fucking GoFundMe page to support my drinking habit to get a new liver, because the way fucking Raw and SmackDown are going, I'm going to need that liver by fucking December.
Well, something I will mention, ever since the Queen insult, we will bring you back on, so do stay tight. Just muted you guys, Mike. I will mention, when it comes to at the top of me and the Gameboy, we'll bring up now on our second segment, is the idea of the brand split. Now, we have Raw, of course, now to the second showing of Raw with the brand split. Of course, SmackDown. MC Gameboy, I know you wanted to mention your thoughts so far on what you think of SmackDown and Raw since the brand split. So go ahead and give your thoughts, and then Angry Mark can give his thoughts, and then have Coach give his.
Well, watching Raw and SmackDown is kind of like watching paper dry, just a little bit faster, maybe with a blow dry or something. I can see how they're trying to get people involved, but once again, I think that Raw and SmackDown has lost its flair already, and it's kind of sad. SmackDown is kind of somewhat delivering with Dolph Ziggler in the title match, but really, who cares if Dolph Ziggler is really in the title match, you know? They need to build brand new characters. And the guys that they have, you're just tired of seeing them. They running down the hole, you know, their schmick is just getting tiresome. And really, you know, I watched Raw with my son, and, you know, I was getting into it with my son, and my son looked at pleased, and I was falling asleep, as usual. And, you know, I guess when he finally finished watching it, I finally woke up and realized that I think this is really just catered to kids, because real adults, real wrestling fans, they just gave up on the product. If you are a true wrestling fan, just watch Lucha Underground. If you can't find it, download it, go on YouTube or whatever. I would just watch Lucha, because the WWE product right now, it sucks. I really don't care for it. I don't think it's going to get any better, and especially with SummerSlam coming up, it looks real dry and boring. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Tech?
Okay. Big Gameboy for that. So, I know you there, brother. Give your thoughts on SmackDown and Raw so far with the brand split. I know you was very adamant against the brand split. So, are your views still the same, or have they changed?
I just wanted to let the viewers know that, you know, I was against the brand split only because of the idea of separate world titles. I'm not a fan of that. I'm still not a fan of that. You know, you can dislike what I'm saying, but you can't disagree with what I'm saying. The era that we're currently in right now, has produced some of the weakest champions in company history. There never in the history of any promotion ever has there been so many world champions, and you have people that just completely forgot that they were world champion, or they just don't care. You know, like I think this week you had Cesaro and Sheamus having a match on Raw, and it was a good match, and they talked about how Sheamus is a former 4-time world champion. You're like, really?
Right. Yeah,
Sheamus is a 4-time world champion, and like literally no one gives a fuck. You know, like really? And there's a lot of this era has produced more world champions like that than any other era. Period. And you can't deny that. You can dislike what I'm saying, but you can't disagree with it. Jack Swagger, Del Rio, Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler, Kane, The Big Show, The Great Khali. I can go on. The Miz. And you have champions like that because of 2 world titles. So even though I'm not the biggest WWE fan, when they quietly ended the brand split and when they merged the titles together, I was a fan of that because, you know, I know you guys are a little bit older than me, but I know enough that, you know, the late 80s, early 90s, that was when being a champion was really a big deal. I remember when Owen, guys like Owen, Mr. Perfect, Razor, I remember guys like that were like a 2-time Intercontinental champion, and it was a big deal because just winning the belt once was hard. You know, Miz is like a 5-time champion, and like literally it's like, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I'm against the brand split, because it's just, I'm not against the idea of it because it creates competition. I'm not against the idea of making SmackDown live because for years fans have been like, you know, who cares about SmackDown? But making SmackDown live, you're giving fans a reason to watch it. So I just want to make it clear. I like the concept of it, but the more world titles you have, the titles lose they lose prestige, and it's not as important. And unfortunately, it just seems to be like that's the direction they're going in. There's reports talking about SmackDown is going to have their own tag title. You know, they're going to have their own women's title. It's like we've been through this already. It didn't work. Like they tried this and it didn't work. They ended it because it didn't work. Why are they doing this again? It's like when you're reading a comic book and they, you know, for instance, you know, like I don't want to get too off topic. It's like the X-Men movies, you know. They did X-Men 3. It didn't go over very well, you know. It wasn't a good movie. The writers, they recognized that, so they did Days of Future Past to basically retcon everything and fix all the damage they did. Now they can move on to a new generation of X-Men movies, you know. It's like when a comic book reboots itself because they recognize that, you know, the previous stuff they wrote was not very good. And it's like WWE right now, they're going through this rebooting process, and it's like, okay, you want to do the brand split, go ahead and do it. Just don't have like 15 titles. This is stupid. You know, now they're going to have a cruiserweight division, and that means there's going to be another title. All right, so you got 2 tag titles, 2 women's titles, 2 world titles, the U.S. title, the Intercontinental title, Cruiserweight title. That's 9 titles.
Oh, don't worry, the European title may come back too. On the hardcore title. But
too many titles, man.
You have more titles than you actually have competitors and actually inside of the company. With bringing up both the tag title segue into Angry Mark, which I'll bring him in to get his thoughts, is Angry Mark, of course, you broke the news months ago about SmackDown, them having separate titles, world titles, and the tag titles and the women's titles. So, Angry Mark, are you sober enough to talk as eloquently as you can about, so far, Raw and SmackDown and all of these darn titles?
What's the question? Is it Raw? Is it SmackDown? What
both.
Do you want me to talk about?
I forgot NFC Gameboy. Angry Mark, we have to repeat stuff to him. You know, drunken rage.
Okay.
So far, it's overall thoughts of Raw and SmackDown.
I think it sucks.
Yeah.
I think it sucks. Okay? I don't want more fucking titles. I want more wrestling. I want fucking storylines. Don't fucking give me a women's title on fucking SmackDown when you got 5 fucking female wrestlers. What are we going to do? Fucking fatal 5-ways every week for the belt? Play pin the fucking women's title? You know, play pin the women's title on the donkey, whatever. You know, I mean, What the fuck? And what, tag division and SmackDown? Is that a fucking joke?
It's 6 tags. It's currently, I think, 6 known tag teams in WWE, but you have 2 tag titles, like Toph mentioned. Can you name more than 5?
2 tag titles yet. You don't. But if they do, really, the fucking Vaudevillains and Ascension are tag team champion worthy? Really? These guys aren't even TNA quality.
What's your shotgun
seriously?
The
Vaudevillains and Ascension aren't even ACW worthy. I mean, seriously, what the fuck are these guys? You got a Simon Crotch? Is that his name, Crotch or something?
I don't know. Toph, what's his name?
Man.
Because his face looks like a fucking...
Gotch.
Yeah, Angry Mark, he's on the money there, man. And the truth is, you know, you get crucified for saying anything negative about NXT. As awesome as NXT is, it has the exact same weaknesses as TNA. When you perform in the same area over and over, what happens is you develop a niche crowd where it's like the crowd sees the same guys, so they get over in front of that crowd. But then when they perform in front of a bigger crowd, it's a disconnect, and it doesn't work. But see, the thing is, even TNA, to their credit, even they were able to make tag teams that if you were to perform like in a more casual crowd, like, or a smart crowd, even they would get reactions, like Beer Money, or the Dirty Hills of Rude and Aries, or Bad Influence with Daniels and Kazarian, or Motor City Machine Guns. But the Vaudevillains and the Ascension, nah, man. You know what those teams are? Those are teams you used to see on WCW Pro and Worldwide. Remember those shows that come on Saturday morning? Yeah, that's what those teams are. That's exactly what the Ascension reminds me of. There's like a team called High Voltage back in the day. Used to be on WCW Saturday night. That's the Ascension, man. They're that team you see like at a local convention somewhere. You're like, who are these guys? That's what the Ascension is.
What was that group, Angry Mark? What was that group, Men at Work? Remember them? The little construction guys? The little hard hits. So,
Men at Work? Who in the fuck is Men at Work? Who are they?
Dude, man, I'm convinced American males could make more money than the Vaudevillains and the Ascension.
If you took the American males back then and put them in WWE now, or they'd be on top of the world. They would
be so over.
And that's what I don't get. Gameboy. So you have New Day, right? They're tag team champions with 3 people, correct?
Right.
So what competition do they have, or anyone, when you have Essence of Clean Descent? You have the Usos, you have American Alpha, New Day. What's the Primo? What's his team?
The Shining Stars.
Shining Stars. That's 4. Angry Mark, help me out. Any other tag teams I'm forgetting?
Ain't Enzo and Big Cass considered a tag team?
Yeah, Enzo and Cass. That's 5.
Dudley.
And the Dudley.
Now remember, some of these teams are exclusive to their brand now.
Right. The Dudleys.
Oh.
So that's 6. So we're struggling to get the name 6.
Febreze? Febreze?
Oh, they're SmackDown, though. They're SmackDown.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we just naming all the tag teams in general. Yeah, you have the Fandango and Tyler Breeze. That's 7. And like Toph said, these aren't even on one brand. They're split on separate shows. So I have a tag team type. I have tag titles for a division that got 3 teams.
See, it's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. It's almost like WWE. It's like they were doing this, and it was like as they did it, they were like, oh shit, we don't have enough guys. Now all of a sudden you're seeing like Rhino back. They're bringing Shelton Benjamin back. They gave Jinder Mahal, he's back. So it's like now all of a sudden you're seeing these guys quietly brought back because it's like the realization just set in. They don't have enough guys to make it work. So they're trying to as best they can to just fill spots. You know what I mean? Like you can tell they didn't think about this beforehand. It's like they didn't sit down in a room and like look at the roster. They just went full throttle and said we're going to do this, but they didn't actually think about, wait a minute, is this really going to work? You can tell they haven't thought about it. It's like, it's like when you do a report without doing pre-writing or any type of, like, I don't know, prep time beforehand. It's like if Batman fought Superman with no prep time. How do you think it's going to go?
Yeah, well, we don't even want to talk about that right now. We won't even mention those words. Batman, Superman.
Wow.
Thank you, Mark. I know you're the elder right now, currently, that's online. Now, in the NWA back in the day, and I remember this, Gameboy, I'm not sure if you remember, kind of you watch wrestling later. Now, you remember, Angry Mark, when the NWA had 2 tag team titles. Remember, it was the World Tag titles and the U.S. titles, right?
Yep.
How many tag teams did the NWA have?
Oh, my God.
It was a lot.
Holy shit. 14, 15. It was a lot.
Right.
It was a lot.
Yeah, you had the Steiners, you had the Varsity Club, the Road Warriors, you had Magnum and Dusty sometimes, you had Fernandez and Rude.
Oh my
you had
God!
The Russians.
Tech, stop! We're only a 2-hour show.
Well, I can name all of them. I'm glad Anchor
We know you
have
can.
a constant of time because
we know you can.
Yeah. Well, I can name all of them.
Please don't.
Gameboy.
Please don't.
He can, but I'm not going to name all of them like Jericho's 1004 holds. But the fact I already named the good 7-8 tag teams off the cuff NWA had. Like Angry Mark mentioned, the NWA had hella tag teams. And he had briefly 2 titles. You know why? Because it worked. They had enough tag teams that could actually fight. And even had a pay-per-view called the Crockett Cup that was all about tag teams. And then, of course, you had Flair that main evented it. WWE, of course, don't have that. They don't have that luxury right now. And you have a women's title, but you got 4 women wrestlers. You got Sasha, Charlotte, Steampunk girl. What's her name? The Steampunk chick. And you got Bailey. That's 4. And that's all you really know. Of course, you got the NXT. You got Xana. Of course, you got the Rock's cousin NXT. But still, it's this overkill right now with these tag titles. Now, what I will mention is, thanks, Sister Queen Becky Lynch. This is the question. Years ago, Gameboy, we was doing the show, you remember. He was complaining about what? John Cena, right? Tired of John Cena, same old shit, blah, 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 want some new people. Now, you don't see Cena as much on the top. You got the Zigglers, you got the Wyatts, you got the Finn Balor's, the Rollins, and people, the IWC is still complaining. So, Gameboy, do you feel that wrestling fans just are spoiled and you never can make them happy, or do they have a legitimate gripe?
I think you look at it like this. Everyone likes a good story. And the problem with all these wrestlers is that these guys and girls don't have story behind them. They do promos, be stuttering and forgetting their lines, such as the Finn Balor and Seth Rollins promo. Seth was fucking up his lines and stuff, and Finn had to help him, which was fucking sad, really sad. Then on top of that, the fans don't really have interest in it. They just want to see some moves and cheer and see somebody they haven't seen in a while and cheer, or wait for Brock Lesnar to come out there with Paul Heyman and be entertained by that. And that's it. There was a time when wrestling used to be an art. It used to be a form of entertainment. It spoke in languages as far as movements in the ring. It's the way you tell a story. It's just like if you watch a ballet, or if you watch figure skating, or, if you watch a sport and you see your team doing a certain formation or whatever, and you know that formation is working, they're going to keep doing it. For some reason, the WWE feels as we just want to throw a whole bunch of people in there and we're just going to hold some titles up, and people just want to get excited. You know, we like storylines. We like to know why these people are involved. Why should they fight? You know, I give Jericho a little bit of credit. His little segment with Sasha Banks, it was kind of comical. I did catch that before I started falling asleep. You know what I mean? I see them setting up for their tag match, but it was just comical because it was different. But even then, you know, it was still stale. A lot of these people are pretty much mechanical. They're not organic. And it hurts the characters and it hurts the brand. A lot of these times, you got to let people be themselves. Some of the best stories are people who just come from where they come from, act how they act, and everything. And I think the WWE is been handcuffing people for so long that people are tired and scared to be themselves. Now, granted, New Day, I don't know if they actually act like that, you know, but, I mean, they're over because they got a lot of leeway. But I think of other federations and other promotions and stuff where people just do their thing, you know. I seen Matt Hardy a week and a half ago and got a chance to speak with him. And I told him that, you know, the segment was crazy, but it was funny. And he was like, man, I'm just finally getting to do my thing. And I'm like, God damn, you know what I mean? Like, you just finally get to do your thing? You know what I mean? It wasn't the greatest wrestling I've ever seen, but it was funny. It was entertaining. And like Angry Mark and Toph always be saying, people are talking about it. And that's the problem with the WWE. They really quick with trending and telling you that, yeah, this is going popular, but people aren't talking about it.
He was humping
the world. Sorry, fans. Random angry outburst from Angry Mark. You mentioned Lucha, Gameboy. You mentioned Lucha.
Dog's trying to hump my other dog. Holy fuck! Break that shit up.
That's what he did.
Yeah, but it's
Are you serious? He's doing this on the show? We're live, ladies and gentlemen. This is
yeah, we are live. This is Angry Mark.
We're live.
Angry Mark, it's only a 2 hour. It's only a 2 hour show. We don't have time to talk about dog love and dog food.
Holy shit.
See, man, this is why after I saw that Homeward Bound movie, I was like, nah, man, no pets, man.
Hey, Tech, you need to get my fucking dog like a bitch, man. You need to
I'm good.
do something about this.
I'm not the pet kind of guy. I'm not the pet kind of guy.
You can't hook him up with like a 4-legged fucking dog hooker?
But why don't you call that what is that? HSCPA? What's that commercial? The little sad song Shania Twain singing and the little dogs and cats. Remember that commercial? Call that number, Angry Mark.
Man, I thought you knew everything. You don't know? You can't find like a dog hooker? You know everything. You know all the tag. You know like every tag team that ever existed, going back to like 7 years ago. But you don't know a dog hooker for my dog?
You should know too. You was around that time, and I did, but I'd rather not. That's the angry house problem.
Remind me, if my dogs were constipated, I'd ask Toph about it because he could get me some apple juice. You know.
Well, with that being said, you mentioned Gameboy Lucha. What makes Lucha work, and what makes WWE and everything else suck? Because we all agree Lucha is the best thing on TV when it comes to wrestling.
Really? You just answered your own question.
But what? Because
okay, if you want to hear from my mouth,
right.
the camera angles, the storylines, the action.
Yeah.
Like
the action in the ring, the color.
Yeah, the color commentary. The women are flat out very, very attractive and athletic. You know what I mean? They can kick your ass and probably give you a nice have a nice day. And a happy ending. The guys can go. They're not all gassed and yelling out fucking moves in the middle of the match so you know what's coming. You know what I mean? It's in sync. And like I said, the storylines is just intriguing. You know, like what? People have actually died and came back on Lucha. You know, when the last time you had a TV show, when people die and come back, unless it's like the soap or something?
Power Rangers.
Hey, man, I was watching Dragon Ball Z yesterday, so, I mean, you know.
Oh, but, you know, that's the greatest anime of all time. So, I mean, I can let that slide. But, I mean, like on regular TV, the last time I seen a show with this much great writing, honestly, was like the show Soap from back in the 70s. If you ever heard of it, Soap was a really good show. It had great writing to it because it was just outlandish stuff that you've never seen on a sitcom before, and it was like groundbreaking. And to this day, I think it's still one of the best written shows of its time because it was outlandish and goofy, but it was fun. It was entertaining, and that's what Lucha gives you. It gives you that sense of adult theme entertainment. You know, I've always said on the show, and me and Tech have said this many times, this is a real pro wrestling show. This is not for children. We're not for kids.
About other stuff,
for adults.
Yeah, it's not for kids.
Yeah,
hey, you know what else? Gameboy. You know what else is groundbreaking? Nia Jax promo. You should watch the ground when she does it.
Watch the
Actually, watch the ring. You see the kid.
She's a plus size wrestler. I love plus size women. You know the boy got a thing for plus size women. I love a plus size woman. I don't like
okay, that's fine. But I don't want to watch her I don't want to watch her doing splashes. Okay, I feel bad for the women that she's splashing. Okay,
I can understand.
What about Bertha Faye back in the day?
I'm sorry, man. I'll be that guy, man. Nia Jax is an average BBW chick with a pretty face that's related to The Rock. That's it.
Yeah, that's why she's getting her push.
Thank you.
She's The Rock's cousin.
Thank you.
She's The Rock's cousin.
Amen.
Because if you wasn't related to The Rock, you won't be in WWE. There you go.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you know how Nia Jax got her push? There was a fucking forklift in the back to get her to the fucking ring to get her push.
It was terrible. He is terrible.
I think the Angry Mutt.
Terrible.
Shout out, thank you, random fan Jose, who just sent me the link to the show Soap. Thank you. 1977 to 1981. The Soap. Antics of T families, the Campbells, and the Tapes.
Mm-hmm.
One
of the guys got abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
On the show.
Thank you, Mark. I know you was around that time. I know you remember this show when it had new episodes.
I would just like to point out that Beavis and Butthead Do America, that really aged well. I don't know why that came in my head. It just did. Continue.
Yeah, that is true.
Great movie. I went to the movies and saw it. I was a big Beavis and Butthead fan in the 90s.
Yeah, unlike other animated movies, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. I saw Beavis and Butthead on a bootleg VHS. Yeah, the old school joint.
It is bootleg? Is that still around?
No, it's not the VHS version. The DVD man's still around the city. Like T5, you know. Gameboy, you know some of them, right? The little bootleg DVD dudes?
Yeah, I've been stopped getting bootleg stuff. I just get my bootleg from you.
I think today I fear my own protection is when we start seeing bootleg DLC stuff, just in general.
Well, Mark, I know you in PA. Do bootleg people exist in PA, in your neck of the woods, literally?
No comment.
Shout outs to the bootleggers that were like right outside Blockbuster back in the day. Like, come on, man, at least try to be like in a more original spot. So.
I remember that.
Shout out to the Blockbuster Video, Hollywood Video, Budget Video, and shout out to the original Netflix, the mailing service, which is now defunct. Before it was all streaming, if you remember that.
Yeah, one last shout out, and then we'll continue. Shout outs to Suncoast. My anime fans know what I'm talking about, man. When you were on Suncoast, you were like 2 arcs ahead of everybody else, man. I remember like when DBZ was like in Frieza Saga, and I was like already on sale. I was like, man, y'all don't even know yet. I was like that dude, man. You had like all the power. Then I discovered the porn section and didn't realize it was porn. That was a bad day.
Shout out to Sam Goody as well.
Yeah, I like those guys.
Yeah, Sam Goody.
Yeah.
And to the old Gameboy knows the old video stores they used to rent videos. The porn section, either it was the video cassette that had the little wax paper in the front so you couldn't see, or they actually put it in a separate room in the back with a little curtain.
Yeah, well, Saltine was the one who would go up to him and say, okay, are these scratch and sniff covers? But and a shout out to Columbia. You used to be able to buy DVDs, and get them through the mail.
Remember that Columbia House.
Oh yeah, that was a ripoff.
Wait,
all
remember
right,
the commercial? You remember the Columbia House commercial? You said like the little song.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah. All right, so I got a question since we're talking about it. All right, so in the area you guys live in, like when exactly, because this is like an interesting subject I talk to from time to time, when exactly do VHSs just like fall off in your area? Because I know everyone, gets demand differently.
Early millennium, like 2000, like 2001, 2002.
Okay,
like
down here, they start to fall off in like, I want to say, like 2002, 2003. I don't know if anybody remembers that Justice League cartoon show used to come on Cartoon Network. They used to, the last VHS tapes I saw was when they took like the first 5 episodes and like made a VHS tape over it, and I never saw them again after that. And like from 2003 and onwards, it was just DVD or bust.
Well, you can thank PlayStation for that. PlayStation was a big advocate of pushing DVDs because a lot of people couldn't afford DVD players, so they just bought PlayStation 2s and just used them
that
as DVD
explains
players.
its popularity a lot then.
Yeah, that's why PlayStation soared, and PlayStation 2 is probably one of the greatest selling video game systems of all time. It's because it was the only one that actually played DVDs. But they were smart. So.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Afro-Attention Queen. I forgot 1 cent to join. I believe his correspondents will be posting the Columbia House commercials on the page as well. Thank you, Andy Mark, for those. I definitely love those commercials. Yes, and Nia Jax she is a former plus-size model as well. Now, going on to the next topic, the Indy Effect, title of the show. As technical as I am, even you can be as drunk as Angry Mark, or you can be, the boy, even Saltine. We all can see over the course of the year how independent wrestling has affected the WWE, has changed the style of WWE, and started with Gameboy. How have you seen WWE or this wrestling change since the indie scene has grown?
I don't think wrestling has changed. I think the evolution of wrestling is only changing because WWE is claiming that they're making the change. The change has been happening for years. Actually, if you want to give change and really give credit, I'll give it to the X Division and TNA back in 2006 and all that. I think that's when I really start seeing wrestling change. When I'm like, wow, this is something I've never really seen before. All these guys that's coming to the WWE who's becoming champions and stuff, they've been champions in other federations and promotions and stuff. They're just bringing their talents to WWE, and WWE's making it look like they did it first. And they're not really acknowledging the other companies because they want you to watch their brand of it. But the evolution of it has been done. The only company that they can't really touch right now is Lucha Underground. And the only reason why they can't touch it is because Lucha Underground, their presentation is something that WWE can't really do because of their content and the way that their fans is. So they really can't go that gritty. But if you give it some time, they lose enough money, they do that shit too. Because that's all they do is just steal people's ideas and just make it seem like they came up with it. I mean, that's the evolution right there. Is they make you believe that they came up with it. They did it in the 90s with WCW and NWO was kicking ass. Then when that faded out, they start going with OVW and all that and using that. And then that was a little bit. And then when they start seeing TNA start blossoming, they start trying to take the X Division ideas and stuff and start trying to make that, slowly put that on it. And then, within a couple years, Ring of Honor started blossoming. So they took Ring of Honor guys, their best guys, put them in the WWE. Think about it. CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, all these guys, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, all these guys were stars in TNA and Ring of Honor. That's all the WWE is doing. They just taking their skills and abilities, evolving it at WWE so they can make a profit. You know what I mean? They're
Hashtag
business.
new era for the old 35 and older guys. But yes, they're new era. What the fuck is that?
There you go.
About?
Take a shot for me, Angry Mark. Take a shot for me, baby. That's your evolution right there.
Thank you, Mark. Are you still sipping on those Sheets smoothies?
Oh yeah, yep, Tech. I'm fucking drowning my sorrows in a batch of fucking smoothies right now. Yep. You got me.
Well,
yep.
for me, with WWE in effect, over the past 10, 11 years, besides John Cena and Randy Orton, and then I'll even mention Sheamus, all of the other champions in WWE has been all indie talent, or all been popular indie wrestlers that WWE's brought in and tried to recreate.
The WWE couldn't make a fucking star if it fell out of the fucking sky and landed in Vince McMahon's lap.
No, sure. Back in the 80s, 90s, all of the stars, I know it's a different time period, but remember, WWF, WCW, AWA, it was territories, but everybody still had their own homegrown talent, people that they made on their own in their company, or even if you had wrestlers that went from one big promotion to the other. Now, especially with WWE, like I mentioned before, 90% of the world champions in the past 6 years all been indie stars. Ambrose, Rollins, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan. The list goes on. All from ROH, New Japan. You got Samoa Joe. AJ Styles is a world champ. We're bringing them in. And even the style that WWE puts on TV, even on Raw, if you notice, even SmackDown, has been a lot faster paced, a lot of more indie-esque matches, as opposed to WWE doing the typical big strongman matches as well. And like Angry Mark mentioned, WWE has not made their own stars. With the exception of Ziggler, and Wyatt, which I don't know if you really count Wyatt because he was, he is the own star, but he grew up within that family. WWE hasn't produced anybody new. Nobody. Everybody on top, well, he was in ROH, he was in CZW, he was in TNA, he was in New Japan. So it definitely is sad, and definitely see a stale moment in WWE and a lot of wrestling. Thank you, Gameboy, for mentioning the X Division. People do not give it credit. The X Division was great, just like the Cruiserweight Division in WCW was.
Mm-hmm.
Angry Mark, I know you're really not a fan of TNA, but even you have to give credit to the X Division and the mark that it made in the business. Will you do that, sir?
Yeah, they made a mark in the business with the X Division, and besides that, the only other mark they've left is a big pile of shit in the fucking highway. There's the other mark they left. So congratulations for the X Division. Besides that, you've shit on everything. You've been on fucking more networks than a Jeff Ross special. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Did they ever cross the line? TNA?
No. Dixie's still trying to figure out how to fucking step over the line.
Yes.
And as you guys both know, I got fucking personal friends who are in the company, who are some of the fucking bigger names in that company, and they even joke around about the company when we're fucking talking on the phone and texting. So
yes,
yeah,
yes, me and just to preface, and me too, Tech and Angry Mark and Gameboy do have personal friends definitely inside TNA and Lucha. It's not caught sources because they are friends in the business. So we don't have sources. Angry Mark doesn't have sources in the business. I mean, he may have a few, but most of them are friends in the business, in WWE and so forth. Me, myself, Gameboy, really don't have sources. We have friends in the business, TNA, Global Force, the list goes on, Lucha. So, like Angry Mark said, and I've seen the text to Angry Mark, me and Gameboy has got text. Yeah, they're currently stars in TNA. They make fun of their own product.
Yeah.
And shout out to Rob Feinstein Is it Rob? Well, shout out to him too, but I'm sorry, Sean Oliver, KC Commentaries. When you get a chance, please go on YouTube, type in Dutch Mantel. When Dutch Mantel did a guest booker, just the promo alone, just the intro alone for that series he did was hilarious because, like Angry Mark mentioned, he got on TNA so bad for how bad they were booking and the logic and how stuff didn't make sense and got on Dixie Carter. You want to get laugh? Please check it out. Other news real quick. I'll bring in Aphrodite Queen and Saltine in a second. Brock Lesnar and Orton. I know they're deeming this the match 15 years in the making. Just to be sure that you know for the 4 kids.
Wait,
not
can I get another
notice.
fucking beer, please? I'm falling asleep.
Do you have? Oh, wake up! That's your fault for drinking. You know, Tennessee Gameboy. When you drink a lot, you tend to get falling asleep and all that. Definitely sad. Brock and Orton. They did wrestle before back in 2003. That really didn't matter because Brock was new. Orton he just started. He was, a jobber. Are you looking forward to Brock and Orton? And with what transpired on Raw last night with Heyman doing another great promo, Orton hitting Brock with the RKO, Brock showing up tonight, hitting on with the F5. What do you guys think as far as this build-up? I'm going to start with Angry Mark first because I know he's falling asleep because of the beer.
You have no fucking idea, man. Beer to me is like a fucking energy drink, all right? All I need is 2 more and I'm fucking good to go till 6 a.m. You know? Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton. All right, let me tell you about this. It's shitty. It's irrelevant. Brock's a part-time guy. Randy is on the verge of being part-time in the next two years. If Randy loses to Brock, he lost to an NCAA champion, a former WWE heavyweight champion, world heavyweight champion, UFC fucking heavyweight champion. Okay. If Randy wins, Brock's not around for 4 months. So where's the rematch? Where's the buzz? So this match is total fucking filler to fucking have on the card. And unfortunately, I think it has to be the main event of SummerSlam now because it sure as hell isn't going to be fucking Ambrose, Ziggler, and Bray Wyatt in a triple threat. And it sure as hell ain't going to be Rollins versus fucking I can't talk on a microphone, Finn Balor.
Oh, God.
Holy
Sean,
shit.
don't get started on that.
I'd rather listen to fucking AJ Styles. Holy fuck. Listen to Finn Balor.
I'd rather listen to Rikishi on the mic. We all remember that.
Man, I'd rather listen to Toph on this show for an hour than listen to fucking Finn Balor.
Hey, Toph, what do you think about that?
Well, I really like Angry Mark, and he's he's drunk a lot of times, and yeah.
Exactly. Fuck yeah. But you all got my point, right? It's like, fucking, who wants to listen to fucking Finn Balor and AJ? But Brock and fucking Randy, what's the end game for this besides a one-off match that is 15 years? Okay,
Thank you, Angry Mark. Thank you. This is pretty much exactly what CM Punk was saying on the podcast. And when he said it, fans were like, you're bitching, you're making a payday, shut up. Yeah, it's true. Punk did make a payday. It was a highlight of whatever show he was working, but Punk was right. CM Punk versus Taker did nothing for Taker. It did nothing for Punk. It did nothing for the roster because Taker was going to be gone. Punk versus Lesnar did nothing for Punk, did nothing for Lesnar, did nothing for the roster. That was the main point Punk was making. And people were looking at it and they were like, Punk is complaining. Yeah, he was, but if you look behind it, the matches, they did nothing for the roster going forward. You know, and at the time, fans were like, "Oh, you're just bitter because you didn't get your main event," which he didn't, which is true. So I understand where fans are coming from, but Punk he was on point there. That was what I was really hearing when Punk was ranting. He was really saying that when it comes to Mania and SummerSlam, they make matches that are just, you know, matches that make you want to see the show, but in the long run, like 4 or 5 months from now, it doesn't benefit anybody, and that's the truth.
As Al Snow and Jake the Snake Roberts told us face-to-face, and as I heard Al Snow mention this and others, it's basically these quick matches is you busting your load quick. It doesn't make sense. There's no build-up. Let's think this. Why is Brock facing Randy Orton? Is there any reason to it?
Okay,
no.
Listen. They just did this. Okay, here's the thing. It's 15 years in the making. They just used that fucking tagline for AJ versus Cena.
Yeah, he did.
Okay? Seriously, what the fuck are they recycling this shit for? Can they not even change the tagline? Yeah, seriously, this is 15 years in the making with AJ versus John Cena. You know, this is a WrestleMania caliber match. Yeah.
The dream match that we know that nobody wanted to see.
Let's fast forward 60 days later. All right. This is 15 years in the making with Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton. Oh, really? Didn't you just use that 2 months ago for Cena and AJ? You dumb motherfuckers.
What I'm interested in, I'm interested in the build-up. That's what I want. I'm more interested in the build-up than the match itself, because you really do have an interesting story, because everyone has seen the picture from OVW, you know, the one with Cena, Batista, Lesnar, Orton, and Shelton Benjamin. And Lesnar has interacted with all of them over the years except Orton. Why is that?
Right.
You know, they haven't really run into each other, you know. So I really would like to see some promos from Heyman, where Heyman basically, like, I want to see, like, I know the product is PG, but I would like to see some no-holds-barred promos from Heyman basically be like, you've been ducking Lesnar all this time. You're a little bitch. You're afraid. You know, I want to hear from Orton's standpoint, like, why have you been avoiding Lesnar? Like, they've subtly talked about it, but that's what I want to see. I want to see, how they're going to build to it.
And if I was Randy Orton, I would come back and say, well, I've been here the whole goddamn time. I wasn't the one who had to fucking leave here to try and be an NFL player and fail at that.
Well, there you go. There's your bill right there.
Right.
See, that's what I want to see. That stuff like that could make this really interesting if they really make it personal.
But at the end of the day, when you have a match of this caliber and you don't set it up for a follow-up match, it's pointless.
Right.
Yeah,
okay?
I agree there.
It's one-off. I don't care if the promos are fucking off the chain. I fucking don't. Because at the end of the day, this is a fucking filler match in the fourth in one of the top 4 pay-per-views of the year.
Yeah, the second biggest one. Yeah.
The second biggest one, the biggest 4. Same fucking thing. What's the difference? But
WWE's gonna remind you the whole time it's the biggest event in the summer. Oh, and don't forget, they also might add
only because Nia Jax is on it.
Right, and they also gonna mention once in a lifetime, and then they're gonna rematch. They did Rock and Cena Mania 29 when it was once in a lifetime, but yet they did
know
what
I'm scared of, Tech?
Year.
You know the third match is coming eventually. You know it is, right?
Yeah, we know. I don't. This is the thing. Old school WWE booking, like Angry Mark mentioned, it needs to be a follow-up. Brock against Orton SummerSlam, then you will see the second match either at the Rumble or normally at Mania. And SummerSlam has a history for a lot of pointless matches that had no follow-up. Michaels and Hogan. And see, Gameboy, I know you can talk about that because one of your favorite matches. Because Michaels purposely oversold everything because Hogan didn't want to do the follow-up match. Because Michaels they said the same thing. It needed to be a follow-up at Mania. There's no point in having this one match when it's not going to mean anything. But like Toe mentioned, I was glad to see the RKO on Brock. They never really interacted much, so yes, it is fresh, but you really don't see much in WWE. But like Angry Mark mentioned, it got to be a follow-up. which it probably won't be. It'll be one and done deal. Brock will disappear. He'll come back for the Rumble to set up for Mania. Orton will disappear for a couple of weeks. Orton's about to be part-time. And that's it. Gameboy, what's your thoughts on this?
I'm counting how many managers are in the WWE. Besides Paul Heyman, and I'm thinking Lana is somewhat of a manager. Why there isn't a lot of managers in the WWE on either Raw or SmackDown? I find that kind of peculiar because, managers are the guys who talk on the mic and the ones that set up. They help the heels or the faces, rally up against the heels and stuff. You don't see that. And then on top of all that, I'm a big Brock Lesnar fan, I like the little line that Randy said about, Brock using the enhancement stuff. You know what I mean? I thought that was pretty good low blow for him. I mean, even for the PG-ish, you know what I'm saying? But I think everybody else been hitting it on the head, and I mean, I'm pretty much just beating down dead dog. We all know that this is going to be one and done. And even if it's not one and done, we're still contemplating if they have the chemistry to really pull out a decent match. This is a filler. And, it should be a main event at SummerSlam. But one thing you learn about the WWE is sometimes some things, it look good on paper, and that's pretty much where it should stay at. I wonder if these two guys will gel together. You know what I mean? It's not like John Cena. I get kind of nervous because, Randy Orton can wrestle. You know what I mean? He's not like John Cena with 4 or 5 moves. Randy Orton actually can wrestle. Brock Lesnar, he actually can wrestle. So are we going to see two guys really wrestling and really getting out there? Or you just want to see a quick boom, 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 some suplexes, suplex, RKO, and the match is over with? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm concerned about, is who's going to come to SummerSlam. Is it going to be the wrestling style, or is it just going to be straight, shoot, get it done with, and that's it?
No, thanks for bringing that up, Gameboy, because I thought that was what you just said right there, and I got a lot of shade for saying it back then. When Lesnar came back, and, Triple H, he just has the habit of attaching himself to whatever is hot at the time. He's done that his whole career. That's how he keeps himself relevant, but I'm not going to turn this into an anti-Triple H thing, but I remember, when I was in high school, the money match that everybody wanted to see was Lesnar versus Triple H, and I remember I was in the minority of fans I wasn't never convinced the match would be good. I never thought the match would be good. I've talked to this with Tech privately off the air. WrestleMania 19 is one of the biggest mysteries of all time. It was a very well-booked show. The build-up was very good, and it was a very entertaining Mania, but the buy rates were horrible. It's one of the lowest buy rates in Mania history, and to this day, no one can really give an answer for why that is. And some fans believe because the main event didn't really have, a big name, and some fans believe if Mania 19 had Lesnar versus Triple H instead, that name would have drew more people to tune in, I guess. But the main point is that was the money match, I guess, of the Ruthless Aggression. I disagree. To me, the money match of Ruthless Aggression was Rock Shawn Michaels. We never got that. That's not a story altogether. But that was the match a lot of fans wanted. They wanted Lesnar versus Triple H, and I was never convinced that the match would be good because I just never thought their styles would gel well together. Lesnar came back in 2012, and they had their series of matches, and all 3 of them were they were snore fests. I mean, did you guys like the matches? I thought they were all duds.
Not really.
No.
I wasn't a big fan of it. I was like, I'm under
Actually,
that.
you put me to sleep as you're talking about it.
Yeah. I know that match at Mania 29, I felt so sorry for Paul Heyman because he was done.